There are numerous videos out there which tell you how to stream with bad internet, but most of these are 1 Mbps upload. But what if you've got internet that's worse than that? What if yours doesn't even scrape the bottom of the barrel? How do you manage to stream on Twitch or any other streaming websites when your upload is 0.3 or worse? I am someone who has streamed for the last year on Twitch as my full-time career with, on average, 0.3 upload. Sometimes it is as bad as 0.18. Sometimes it gets to the exciting heights of 0.6 upload, but that is very rare. So without going into detail about how I ended up living somewhere with such bad internet or anything, because that is for another video, I figured I'm moving in a month, so if I can pass on as much information to you guys as I can, so if you have got terrible internet, if you are struggling to stream, then at least I can give you everything I know. Now, before we get into this, I will tell you that don't expect 1080p HD streams. You really can't. If your internet is under 1 Mbps, then, and this is upload, not download, then you're gonna struggle. But I can tell you that I managed to stream in 720p, and although sometimes my stream is laggy when I have really bad internet days, for the most part it is watchable, and I've managed to maintain an audience throughout the entire year despite this. So I'm going to go into the things you can do to optimize your settings, any extra details on how to run your computer whilst you're streaming, and just any old tips. So without further ado, let's get into it. To work out what kind of internet speed you are working with, I would suggest doing some form of speed test. This is probably something you've already done, but go onto like the Ookla speed test or something, and that will show you what you are working with. That will give you your download and upload. And for streaming, upload is the crucial part. Your download, yeah, it's kind of important, but the upload is how good your stream quality is going to be, how quickly you can transfer your information across to the interwebs. Once you've done that and you know what kind of speed you're working with, that will give you some kind of idea on what kind of settings you can have in your streaming software. But before you do that, one thing you will want to do is making sure that your internet is optimized. So to do that, what I would suggest is, if the speeds you're getting really aren't matching the package that you've got from your internet service provider, contact them and ask them if there's anything they can do, because there might be some sort of cap that they've put on it. So do that. But if you are unfortunate like I am, and the absolute maximum kind of speeds you can get are pretty much dial up, then the best thing you can do is have a look at the settings for your router, and if you need any information on how to access those, then call up your internet service provider, or have a little Google, because there are ways that you can access the kind of internal workings of your router. This will show you kind of which channel you're using. There are multiple channels that you can connect to for your router and your internet. Try different channels, because if there are multiple people using the same channel, then it will lower the quality of the internet. Now, obviously, I'm speaking in very basic terms because I don't currently have that page up, and it was a few months ago that I did this, and yes, I should probably refresh my memory, but I mean, I'm giving you enough information, all right? It'll be fine. So have a Google and check about different channels that you can use the internet from. And also, if all else fails, try and either reset or reboot your router, because that may be the cause of the issue. Other than that, relocating your router is always a good thing. So I found out that my router works far better. I originally had it on the floor next to the wall, and now it is currently lifted up onto like a little bookcase, and now it works a lot better. So it sounds ridiculous, but if you relocate your router, then you will find somewhere that's going to be optimum for it. But there is only so much you can do with the internet, and like I said, my internet on a bad day is 0.18 upload, and on those days, there is really nothing I can do with it other than head over to my stream settings and just kind of lower those accordingly. So I'm going to put up on the screen, probably down here, the settings that I use for my OBS. And I use OBS Studio, which is a fantastic free software. Other softwares are things like XSplit, but I don't have any settings for those because I have rarely used that. So I'm going to use OBS Studio, and ultimately what this comes down to is trial and error. I personally have quite a good PC. It's pretty good and it can handle a fair amount of weight on it. So I have changed my settings so that the weight of the processing is on my actual CPU as opposed to, you know, on my internet. So there are options on here on whether you want to use kind of like the internet to transfer the information, or whether you want to kind of put a lot more pressure on my CPU. And although this is going to put a strain on your processor, for me it's a no-brainer because this is my career, and so if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't be able to stream at all. So I have it set so that it is a really heavy strain on my CPU, but ultimately it's fine. But like I said, it is all about trial and error. So try the different streaming profiles, try all of those different things. And I have found that what works for me is a sweet combination of a very, very low bitrate and also changing it so that the priority for my CPU is my OBS. But yes, trial and error, try all the different things, set it up on, what I did was I set up a second Twitch channel called Knightenator 2, and I stream on there when I'm trying to try new settings. So it doesn't alert my followers when I go live, but it means I can ask a few friends to come in there and just tell me what looks good, what is working, and I can keep like stopping the stream, starting the stream with different settings, and you ultimately will find something that is best for you. Try streaming through any of those different things. Try changing the bitrate. When I had good internet, I was streaming about 3,000 bitrate, and I've had to lower that to about 300 on a bad day. Also, the other thing that you will want to change is, we just get up, is the buffer size. Now the buffer size is something that I've gone through everything with this. I've gone from it being 0 to being like 2, and I find that it works really well as being the same amount as the bit rate. I find that is the optimum way of streaming. As well as that, keyframe interval, I changed that to 2. I find that works far better than 0. And the rate control is something that, again, you may want to do a bit of trial and error with. CBR works best for me, but try everything and hope for the best. And ultimately, not much else needs changing on your OBS settings. So other than just the output, you want to make sure the output mode is set to advanced as well. And on the advanced settings is changing the process priority, meaning that OBS will use more of the CPU than everything else. That leads me on very nicely to the everything else. So the other things that you run while you're streaming. When I had good internet, I would have all kinds of things running. I would have Chrome, I'd have YouTube videos, I would have everything. I'd have everything on in the background, loads of processes that are using the internet because I wouldn't think about it. Before I moved, I had like 20 uploads, so it was absolutely fine. It wasn't an issue. It didn't affect me at all. Since moving, I have learnt that browser is very important. I've switched from Chrome to Firefox because I find that uses not only less processing power, but also it seems to be better on the internet. Now, there are probably people in the comments who are gonna speak in very technical terms, who know a lot about the internet. And don't get me wrong, I'm very knowledgeable, but I'm sure you're gonna find holes in my logic. But just speaking from someone who has had this experience, these are the little things that have managed to help me stream the past year. As well as that, no YouTube videos, no stream playback. I stream with music, but that is on Spotify, and every single song that I've downloaded, every single song that I play is downloaded beforehand, before the stream. So I have multiple playlists and they are all downloaded, meaning that I'm not live streaming any songs when I stream. And anytime someone donates for me to play a song on Spotify, it starts buffering, it starts lagging my stream out. So I try and keep that to an absolute minimum But yes, download all your songs beforehand. Don't have any unnecessary browsers open, no browser pages or tabs open in the background. What I would do is probably like a Control-Alt-Delete, get your task manager up and just see what's running in the background, because those background processes are all taking the vital little bit of internet and processing power that you need to keep the stream running. So make sure that everything is closed and gone that can be. As I'm now waffling on, I'm going to try and wrap this up as soon as possible. If I think of more things that are really vital after this video, I'll probably end up making a part 2. But the final thing I would say, and this is probably not going to apply to many of you, is think about the game that you're playing. I play old school RuneScape, and because the graphics of that are naturally quite simple, and they don't use a lot of pixels and things, it works really, really well for a pretty rubbish stream. It means that people can't tell just how bad the quality truly is, which works in my favour. Whereas if you're someone who's trying to play the latest AAA game with the most incredible graphics, it is going to show. Or if you're someone who does a lot of IRL, it will show. I can't wait until I move so that I can have my face not look like a Minecraft character. But I know for the time being that I've got to keep IRL to the minimum. I've got to keep RuneScape as my main game, and I want to. Don't worry, I want to RuneScape till I die. Oh god, I'm so cringeworthy. But ultimately, keep an eye on the game. If you can think of a game which uses slightly lower graphic settings, or has the option to use slightly lower graphic settings so that it kind of evens out how bad your webcam looks, then you are all set. That also is another thing. If you can stream without a webcam, that will probably make the quality of your stream look a whole lot better. The audio isn't really affected too much by the internet with the settings that I use, meaning that the only way people really notice that my stream is not the best visual quality is through it lagging or through my webcam. So if you can take the webcam away, it solves one of the issues. But I mean, again, this is stuff that isn't necessary. I stream with a webcam, and I do have sections where I am full screen face, normally when I start the stream and end the stream. It is totally doable, and it is the biggest pain in the butt. If you're someone who's trying to stream and you prep a stream or something, and then suddenly you hear people in this chat just going, oh, it's buffering, we can't see, and you see the Fs going because the stream has died. It is really, really demotivating, but keep at it. Trial and error, that is the best thing I can tell you. Trial and error, minimize the things in the background, get rid of those. The other thing I would also suggest, and I know that I said I was going to end the video, but the other thing I would also suggest would be turning off the internet on every other device you have in the home. I only have one device connected when I stream, and that is my computer. I turn my phone onto 4G, I turn off everything else so that the only thing consuming the internet will be my computer. So I know that it does take a lot of sacrifice, and if you're someone who's in a household with other people and you have really bad internet, it could be tricky, but trial and error, ask people to turn everything off and disconnect devices. And I wish you the absolute best. Hopefully these tips will help you in some way or another, and I will finish with a clip of my stream so you can see the quality that other people see, and you can see what you can kind of expect with 0.18 upload. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and if you have enjoyed this, then please do click that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and pop a comment down below. If you've got any tips on how to stream with bad internet, please put them down. Please pop those down below as well, and I will see you guys very soon. Goodbye.